brothers inherit $100,000 each. One invested. One started a business. 10 years later, the results will surprise you. 10 years ago, two brothers, Jake and Mark, each inherited $100,000 when their grandmother passed away. Same amount, same day, same family, but completely different choices. Jake took his $100,000 and invested it, boring S&P 500 index funds. Set it and forgot it. Went back to his regular $65,000 accounting job. Mark took his $100,000 and quit his job. Started a coffee shop in downtown Phoenix. Entrepreneurial. Exciting. The American dream. Everyone thought Mark was brilliant. Taking risks. Building something. Jake? People felt sorry for him. He's not ambitious enough. 10 years later, Jake's $100,000 is now worth $310,000. He worked 40 hours a week. Low stress. Never touched the investment. Mark's coffee shop is worth about $220,000, but he worked 60-plus hour weeks for 10 years. Nearly lost everything during COVID. Still stressed constantly. Wait, the boring investor made more money than the entrepreneur? With half the work and a tenth of the stress? Yeah, and what I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about investing versus starting a business. My name is Mike, and I've watched both brothers' paths unfold for a decade. I'm going to break down exactly what happened, year by year, with real numbers. But first, if you've ever debated whether to invest money or start a business, hit that like button right now, because this comparison is going to save you from potentially making a very expensive mistake. And subscribe, because I'm breaking down real financial paths with real outcomes. Not theory, real results. Let's go back to 2015. Jake and Mark are 28 and 30 years old, both working regular jobs making about $65,000. Both get $100,000 from their grandmother's estate. Jake's decision, invest all $100,000. Splits it into a simple three-fund portfolio. 70% U.S. stocks, 20% international, 10% bonds. Total time to set this up, 2 hours. Done. Goes back to his accounting job. Mark's decision, start a coffee shop. Uses $80,000 for the business. Keeps $20,000 as emergency fund. Quits his job. All in. Year 1 is brutal for Mark. He's working 70 hours a week minimum. Learning everything. Equipment breaks. Employees quit. Health inspections. Supplier issues. He barely pays himself $25,000 that first year. Jake? His $100,000 grows to $109,000 in a good market year. He makes his $65,000 salary. Works 40 hours a week. Has weekends off. By year 3, Mark's shop is established. He's paying himself about $55,000 a year, but still working 60-hour weeks. The business generates $280,000 in revenue, but after all costs, his take-home is $55,000. Jake gets promoted, making $72,000 now. His investment is worth $142,000. He's added nothing to it. Just let it grow. Let me pause here and ask you something. Drop a comment. Would you rather work 60 hours a week for $55,000 or 40 hours for $72,000? Be honest. Year 5, Jake's investment hits $180,000. Still hasn't added a penny. Just grow from the original $100,000. He's making $78,000 at his job. Works 40 hours. Takes vacations. Low stress. Mark's paying himself $70,000 now. Business revenue is $420,000. After costs, he nets $70,000 in salary. If someone bought his business today, maybe $150,000 based on the customer base and location. So let's do the math at year 5. Jake has made cumulative salary of $355,000 from his job, plus his investment is worth $180,000. Total wealth created, $535,000. Mark has made cumulative salary of about $270,000 from the business, plus business value of $150,000. Total, $420,000. Jake is already $115,000 ahead. Working fewer hours. Way less stress. If this is shocking you, hit that like button again, because it gets more dramatic. Year 8, 2023. COVID hits in 2020. Mark's coffee shop nearly dies. People stop going out. He takes a $50,000 loan to survive, pays himself only $40,000 that year. Almost loses everything. Terrifying. Stressful. He's paid back the loan now, but that year aged him. Jake's investment drops during COVID too, from $220,000 to $165,000. Scary, but he doesn't sell. Just waits. By year 8, it's recovered to $245,000. Jake's still at his job, making $85,000 now. Still 40 hours a week. Still low stress. Year 10, 2025, present day. Jake's $100,000 investment is now worth $310,000. Never added a dollar. Just compound growth. Average 12% annual return over 10 years. He's still working his accounting job, making $92,000. 40-hour weeks. Comfortable. Low stress. Total earnings over 10 years from job, $780,000. Plus investment, $310,000. Total wealth created, $1,090,000. Mark's coffee shop is stable. Revenue, $550,000. He pays himself $85,000 a year. Works 60+ hours weekly. If he sold the business today, industry multiples suggest $220,000 value. Total earnings over 10 years, $600,000 in cumulative salary. Business value, $220,000. Total wealth created, $820,000. The investor made $1,090,000 total. The entrepreneur made $820,000 total. Jake made $270,000 more, working half the hours, with a tenth of the stress. Now comment below and tell me, does it surprise you? Because it surprised me too. Here's what makes this story interesting. When I asked Mark if he regrets it, you know what he said? No, I don't regret it at all. He said, yeah, Jake made more money with way less work. I get it. The math is clear. But I built something. I own something. I'm my own boss. I created jobs. I love my customers. I can't put a price on that. Money isn't everything. And you know what? He's right. Jake took the financially optimal path. Mark took the fulfillment path. Neither is wrong. They are just different. Jake said, I took the easy way, invested and forgot it. Let the market do the work. I'm rich on paper. But Mark built something real, something tangible. He can be proud of that. So here's what I learned watching both brothers for 10 years. If you want maximum wealth with minimum time and stress, invest. The math is brutal. Jake's path wins financially every time. $100,000 in index funds beats most small businesses. Way less work, way less risk. But if you want ownership, control, fulfillment, even if it means less money and more stress, start a business. Mark knew the math. He chose the business anyway. For him, it wasn't just about wealth. It was about building something. Most people romanticize entrepreneurship. They see the coffee shop, think it's cool. Don't see the 60-hour weeks, the near failure during COVID, the $50,000 loan, the constant stress. Jake's path looks boring. Index funds, regular job, but boring made him richer with half the work. Should you invest or start a business? Depends on what you value. Want maximum wealth per hour worked? Invest. Jake's proof. Want to build something you own even if it means less money? Start a business. Mark's proof. But here's my advice. If you get a windfall like $100,000, invest most of it. Maybe $80,000. Use $20,000 to test a business idea if you want. Don't bet everything like Mark did. Too risky. Jake and Mark are both happy with their choices. Jake has more money. Mark has more pride in his work. Jake works less. Mark works constantly. Jake's money works for him. Mark works for his business. Different priorities. Different outcomes. Both valid. The data is clear though. Jake's $100,000 became $310,000 with zero effort. Mark's $100,000 became a $220,000 business, but cost him 20,000 extra hours of work over 10 years. That's 3 years of full-time work extra. For $90,000 less wealth. The market beat entrepreneurship financially. But Mark wouldn't trade his business for Jake's index funds. Because for him, it's not about the money, it's about the journey. So one final question for you. Comment below. If you inherited $100,000 tomorrow, what would you do? Invest it like Jake? Start a business like Mark? Or split it somehow? I'm reading every comment because I want to know what people actually choose when given the scenario. And if this story helped you think through investing versus entrepreneurship, smash that like button one more time and subscribe. I'm making more videos comparing real financial paths with real outcomes over real timelines. Bottom line, Jake invested $100,000. It became $310,000 in 10 years with minimal effort. Mark started a business with $100,000. It's worth $220,000 but cost him 60-hour weeks for a decade. The market beat entrepreneurship financially. But Mark's happy anyway, because success isn't always about the money. Sometimes it's about what you build along the way. Both brothers won, just in different ways.